The Prime Minister has vowed not to give up on repealing the carbon tax, despite frustration and confusion in the Senate. Reporter Chris O'Brien joins us live from the Queensland LNP Convention. Chris, Tony Abbott has delivered a defiant speech.
He certainly has, Jess, after a bizarro week in Canberra where his efforts to get rid of the carbon tax were stymied by Palmer United Party senators. The Prime Minister came to Brisbane to preach to the LNP converted. There were protesters, but they got nowhere near Tony Abbott, nor for that matter the Foreign Minister Julie Bishop, who was here too. But if delegates were expecting Tony Abbott to bag Clive Palmer for blocking the repeal of the carbon tax, he laid most of the blame at the feet of the ALP. A tale of two receptions. Outside the LNP convention, a small but noisy band of protesters vented their anger against the Abbott government's policies on immigration and university fees. There was some pushing and shoving, but it made no impact on proceedings inside, where the atmosphere was much more friendly.
It might be the coldest Brisbane morning in 113 years, but that was an extremely warm welcome.
It's a state convention, but the extraordinary events in the Senate are uppermost in Mr Abbott's mind. Although much attention has been focused on the Palmer Party's unpredictable voting behaviour, the Prime Minister blames Labor for continuing to block the repeal of the carbon tax.
Mr Palmer has 3 senators, but Mr Shorten has 25. And we know that Mr Palmer will change his mind come Monday, but Bill Shorten will still be there.
The government is hoping to reintroduce its carbon repeal legislation in the lower house next week.
We won't rest until the carbon tax is gone, because this is a toxic tax.
It's day 2 of the 3-day LNP convention, which has been debating a wide variety of policy motions, including a proposal to stop the Australian mints producing 5-cent coins.
They're not useless. Anyone that buys a scratch ticket knows that you need a 5-cent coin to scratch them.
The 5-cent coin is used consistently in old people's homes as a means of gambling.
Despite those objections, the motion passed.
Chris, we'll have to wait and see if that spells the end of 5-cent coins, but what next for the convention?
Jess, right now, ministers and MPs and members are arriving for a gala dinner. Hopefully tonight, without the shenanigans of last year involving the young LNP and a missing pair of expensive brand name boots. But tomorrow, the Premier, Campbell Newman, will gee up the troops, delivering an assessment of his government's achievements ahead of next weekend's Stafford by-election. And of course, Jess, this is the last LNP convention before next year's general election.
Chris O'Brien, thank you.